Awesome. So let's get here together. We're going to do an opening meditation. So feet flat on the floor, palms facing up. Take a deep breath and just notice what your body feels like. Do you notice tension? Are you having lots of thoughts about what already happened today or what you need to do after this? Is a certain part of your body vying for your attention? Just observe, don't get swept away, and take a deep breath with me. Repeat after me. I am now open to receiving all of my gifts and letting go of my pains. I welcome blessings and am so excited to take notice of the magic around me. So now with one hand over your heart and one hand over your belly, I'm going to put that blessing over you. I am now open to receiving all of my gifts and letting go of my pains. I welcome blessings and am excited to take notice of the magic all around me. That's what this class is about. You are starting to become aware of a warm golden energy floating down from the cosmos. Sense it at the top of your head now. This is the blessing from your Creator, the infinite spirit, the universe. Allow this blessing to move through, down your face, into your hair. Let this gold blessing swirl around your jaw. Let the jaw relax. Allow this gold energy to melt into your neck and your shoulders. Feel it warm your chest and your heart. Gold energy down your arms. And take some time to notice it swirling in your hands. Allow this gold blessing energy to charge each and every one of your ribs, soothing your stomach and your belly. Allow this warm gold energy into your pelvic floor and your sex. Let it melt down your legs and into your feet. Take notice if your body feels more charged, more warm, more alive. Can you feel it buzzing? Let this energy continue to melt all the way through the earth, traveling down, down, down. This warm energy continues all the way down, connecting you to Mother Earth. Notice how this gold energy connects you from cosmos to Earth. Ask both of these forces to help guide you on this path of discovery. Maybe you receive a vision or a word or a sensation in your body. And request a healing from their shared energy. Receive it now. What do you see? What do you hear? Take some time to open up your extra senses and just allow this healing to take place. Bring a smile to your face and some gratitude into your heart. And come on out of meditation. So you might have noticed that it was really easy for you to see, or you may have noticed that it was easier for you to feel, or for you to hear. As we explore the different clairs, which is French for clear, clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairvoyance, you'll be able to understand which gifts you're already working with and which ones will be able to be expanded much deeper. So let's get into the lecture for today. Everything is energy, and energy provides information. Our thoughts can be measured by frequency. Things can be measured by frequency. People, emotions, sound, and lights, all of these things have a frequency or a vibration. It's just different in the way that we experience it. So everything is energy. If that's true, including us, then really we can read, work, and understand anything that we wish to connect to. It's like if everyone in the world knew sign language, we would all be able to connect and understand. This is the paramount understanding of these teachings. Everything is energy, therefore we have the right to communicate and work with everything. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of a study and a little bit of practice, but you're all born innately with this. We currently have a understanding of the universe through what's called the mechanical view. Maybe you guys remember from 7th grade science that we thought we lived in a universe that was if and then, and that was very much separated from itself. We're now coming to understand through physics and quantum mechanics that we live in an electric universe, which means that nothing is separated, no thing. And that's because even though my hands aren't touching right now, there is an infinite amount of what's called plasma in between. Okay, so even though my hands aren't touching, if I tune in, I can feel the energy pulsing between my hands. What you're doing is you're connecting to plasma, which is the 4th state of matter. We have liquid, solid, gas, and plasma. Plasma is the unformed of those 3 states. And plasma is now known to be conscious. It plays, it flirts, it moves. So you're starting to probably think of all these times where you were able to connect to things and get information without totally understanding why. That's just the sciencey understanding of what you guys have already experienced, your intuition, your psychic abilities. So it's really kind of a beautiful blending of both worlds. So some examples of how we are all working through and plasma, whether we know it or not, is the example of hive mind. birds or other animals following ley lines or magnetic pulses throughout the earth and passing along information and patterns. Whether they know what they're doing, they just end up going in ways that support that species. Psychic readings. When I connect to a client via Zoom, most of my clients are on the computer. How am I able to read into their energy? Well, I intend to connect to them. The plasma says, yes, ma'am. And then we look at their energy. This is how Reiki healings are done too. You say, universal life force, I would like you to run through my body so I can help this person heal. And it says, anything you desire, you make true, ask and you shall receive. So as you can see, plasma wants to play. Where your attention goes, energy flows. Yeah, we know that saying. So now imagine that you're starting to understand that when you ask plasma, unformed energy, to do something, it will start to respond. I get out today and I start talking to the sunshine, plasma. I talk to, my client across Zoom, plasma. I do timeline work from when I felt lonely as a child, plasma. It's anything, you guys. It's all encompassing. Remote viewing, you connect through time-space, which is nonlinear. Telepathy, lots of ways. Before we had verbal language, we connected to each other through these energy lines that we now call chords. So when we were nonverbal, I would throw out a chord to one of you, heart to heart, and we would communicate that way, or root to root about safety, and we would communicate that way. We still do that today. Energy is very sticky, and most of the time we know about chords only because we're like, this chord is negatively affecting me, please get rid of it. But in reality, chords can be beneficial if you are aware of them. Okay, and how you guys got to this class, whether it's me posting on social media or you came across, a friend told you to come here, however you came across it, it was influenced by your divine design. You got led here somehow. There are no mistakes. And when we start to play with that idea, we can understand that there are higher vibrational plasma reality stacks for us to hop into, and we can begin to choose higher and higher reality stacks for ourselves. So learning to understand energetics means learning to work with and control it. It makes our life easier, whether you want to be a healer full-time, you want to be a full-time psychic, you're a mother, or you're a business owner, or it helps you with your kids who are nonverbal. Understanding energy is for everyone. It puts you back in the driver's seat, right? Rather than being a passenger of life, being like, why did that happen? Oh my gosh. We can begin to drive the car again. Okay, are there any questions so far? Okay, perfect. So let's talk a little bit more about plasma. And believe me, when I say that I understand, I really nerded out on this lecture, and the classes are not like this. They're a little bit more free-flowing, but I just love the science explaining what we have known for millennia. So hopefully it's as engaging as I feel it is. But let's talk about plasma again, right? Fourth state of matter, it's sentient, meaning it has a consciousness. Maybe you've heard of, oh, awesome. Thank you, Bailey. Maybe you've heard of those experiments where they try to observe, unformed energy, and it doesn't, it moves in a pattern, but then when they remove their awareness from it, it starts to act in chaos. Our attention on something gives plasma direction. So that's why the leading minds, scientists that are observing space can't find the edge of space, because every time you send your awareness, you're going to find more. Okay, so we just need to add our awareness to plasma, and it says, how can I help? What do you want? Direct me, da 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 da. Yes. Science is still trying to understand plasma because science comes from a limited perspective of needing proof first, right? And that's valuable in its own sense. However, it's having a hard time explaining why something can be conscious that isn't a part of, a human mind. Plasma holds all energetic and informational structures, just like a hologram, like as within, so without, as above, so below. That's how blood plasma got its name, because it can become anything. It's unformed. So whether you're trying to manifest and you're talking to the plasma being like, dear God, please give me, $10,000 a month, the plasma tries to matriculate and you need to raise your vibration to match that plasma chunk. All right, so if anyone's feeling confused, just remember everything is energy and energy responds to our consciousness. Simply simplified. Therefore, anyone can be an intuitive, a psychic, a healer, a channeler. This is not limited to people who, I remember when I was growing up and I was interested in this stuff, but like it wasn't where I was headed at the time. I would go see a psychic and their bio would be like, almost died 14 times, like really close to spirit. And I was like, that's not me. So I guess it's unavailable. I'm here to tell you it's available. It's already within you. Maybe you needed to hear that as much as I did when I was looking into all of this stuff. So think of some of your early experiences in childhood, because when we're kids, we are closest to source, to infinite spirit. And my guess is you had a strong propensity for one or several gifts when you were younger. Did you have a bunch of imaginary friends? Were you always understanding what the adults were talking about without them verbalizing it? Could you feel the emotional context around you? Were you bombarded by spirits when you were sleeping? Did you always think there was a monster under your bed? Were you having recurring dreams? Or did you hate going into certain rooms or certain houses or certain places? These are all examples of your early spiritual gifts at play. But then over time, I don't know if you guys saw the little movement in the back. I don't know, when we're kids, the adults who start to constrict and contract in order to fit into a certain paradigm tell us that stuff's not real or it wasn't supported. Mostly, that's the experience. Very rarely is a child just told to blossom and fly with it. But that's what we're trying to get back to. So much of the classes from here are pulling out your doubts, removing your own limitations that are in the way of your natural inherited gifts. Okay, energy is our native way of being and existing, which means that we all have access to it and we all can learn how to harness it. I don't know if you guys have seen, on Gaia, there's a lot of documentaries about this, but learning to even harness the energy that's innate moving through our body to create physical change in the environment. I've met a lot of my own clients whose higher self, maybe you're familiar with the concept, is out there trying to renegotiate what's possible here on Earth. So if you have this inkling, like, dang, it would be really cool to provide miracle healings, or gosh, I really want to be telepathic or telekinetic and move objects across. If you are thinking about it, I guarantee you your higher self is out there trying to bring the contracts to make it happen for you. This is just the beginning for you. So allow yourself to have those silly thoughts, those imaginary inclinings. It's intuition trying to break through all this molding, okay? So a lot of what we do in these classes is shedding what I call pictures, old paradigms, old energy patterns that are in the way of this blossom for you. Yeah, the importance of these classes, it's almost like energy literacy. It's for healing yourself and others, for learning to read situations, learning how to enhance outcomes or decrease certain things that you don't want the outcome for. Like an athlete or a business CEO. I have had a few clients that were really in the business world wanting to look at, if I get in business with this person, what would be the outcome? Okay, well, that's 70%. I really want that to happen. How can we increase that potential? It's just all working with potentials and moving parts. Anyone can do that. Anyone. So, a little bit about my journey, and I'm hoping that you can pick out the pieces that you identify with. It probably won't be everything, maybe it will, but just listen for the things that you're like, that's what I experienced, that's me, because I don't think that looking back at my life, I ever knew I was going to get to this place. It was like a pipe dream. So I can see clearly that I was a very sensitive little girl. I would consider myself a very early clairsentient. I was feeling the emotions without understanding that they were not my emotions. So, as a female bodied person, holding on to the energy for everyone became very toxic for me. I went through some very early abuse situations that really heightened my need to make sense of the world. And so I developed an even keener sense to understand what people were thinking, feeling without them verbalizing it. However, I didn't know any of that was what was happening. I thought I was a damaged little girl who was far too sensitive and that people told me was too much, right? Those were the things that were actually going on. However, I can look back with a lot kinder of a light. I just didn't have the coping skills necessary to deal with what I was going through. However, now I know it's part of my own journey. But I did know that I felt led to understand humans, why humans behave a certain way. I found fascinating. I was a little girl watching Korean horror films by myself, like trying to understand like what the motivation for all that stuff would be. I was watching Criminal Minds like religiously, SVU, all the kind of like dark and heavy stuff because I needed to understand what had in essence happened to me on some sort of level. And long story short, got a bachelor's, got master's, all in the psychology realm, started working as a counselor in the addictions field, and I hated it because I was also allowing a bunch of energy from the clients or people. I was working with a prison population. I was just inundated. I was heavy with their stuff. I got confused, thought that I was an addict. It was a mess, you guys. My first visceral intuitive nudge, I'm at a coffee shop. My life sucks, but it looks great on the outside, I'll tell you that much. I had the boyfriend, I had the degrees, I was dying on the inside. I heard this girl say Reiki. I've never heard of it. I go up to her and I'm like, I want to take that class with you. So I take the class and I start immediately working on people. Not understanding that the visions that I was having when I touched someone was this kind of psychic intuitive realm. I needed to make sense. How was I able to see these things that were happening to people? It hurt my analytical brain. My analytical brain was like, that's not possible, bop, bop, bop. So I needed the science. So I was on a mission to discover the science of how this all works. But the results were there. So I kept searching for knowledge, and then I came across Eileen McCusick, who started biofield tuning. She basically uses tuning forks to plug into energy fields and read memories, read vibrations, and then readjust them. And so she introduced me to the concept of plasma. And her books are amazing, you guys. I really highly recommend reading them if you haven't. And then I began my psychic training. And the psychic training was really helpful for me because although I didn't consider myself a psychic or an intuitive while I was in the quantum field actually working on people doing healings, Yes, so good, Bailey. Um, Getting the tools to help me navigate the energy world completely changed the game for me. I had been trying to start a healing business for 4 years and just, it was always like a client here, a client there. And then I took my own classes and with Dr. Lauren Cielo, and all of a sudden I cleaned up a lot of my internal workings, moved out a lot of my old picturings, all of my limitations, and then overnight, um, spirit blessed me, basically. I let go and everything came into fruition. So you can start from anywhere. And even if you just use this to better your own life, or you're feeling the call, especially in 2025, year of the wood snake, to start your own business, then this might be a great way for you to test those waters and also build a community of other, like some of my students even work on me. I'm like, you're so skilled. Give me some of your medicine. So it's really just a beautiful community to be part of. In these courses, my hope for you is that you will be challenged to let go of old thinking patterns, old energy patterns. You'll be able to discover your talents. You will turn down that analyzer, that analytical mind. We're going to rebalance the masculine and feminine so that you can have access to these wide open gifts of yours. We're going to reduce fear and doubt so that you can start trusting the messages that are already coming in. And ideally help you step into your highest design, soul purpose. So, are there any questions? We're going to get into one last meditation for you to discover more about where your gifts lie. Everyone feeling good so far? Woohoo. Okay. So this is the meditation for beyond the five senses. And you may not have all of them may not come online. Some might be brighter than others. So just be really wary. I'm sorry, not wary. Be really curious about which of your gifts are more turned on than others right now and follow that lead. We tend to put an emphasis on clairvoyance, being able to see and visualize. However, that's not the gift for everyone. I tell my class right now that I haven't had a clairvoyant vision in probably more than 5 weeks, maybe 2 months. And my guides always do that for me when they're asking me to enhance one of my other gifts. So long story short, just be open to how you're receiving. Okay, so think about this as making requests to the energy, to the plasma around you. All you need is focus and neutrality, and then the energy will respond to you by law. Trust the first inclining. So if I ask you to see something, see the first thing. If I ask you to receive a message, it's the first thought. All right, here we go. Take a deep breath. Seated, feet flat on the floor. And I want you to rub your hands together about 30 times. Now pull them slightly apart and feel the buzzing. All right, this may seem rudimentary, but what's happening is this is kinetic energy. You have excited the cells through motion. And so when you bounce all around, when you work out, when you rub your hands together, you are activating energetic channels. This is all kind of the most common way to begin understanding energy and feeling energy in the body move, kind of like tingling or buzzing. Often when I do biofield tunings and I ask clients to feel for sensations, those are the easiest ones to sense. buzzing, tingling. Next, take your right hand and lightly place it over the base of your throat. Notice how your throat responds. Does it tighten? Does it open? Is it sending you colors? Just remain curious how your attention there responds. Maybe you can already hear it asking you to do something. Now take your right pointer finger and move it right in between your eyebrows. With your eyes closed, can you sense the electromagnetic pull without touching your face? The third eye is one of the easiest places to feel this because of the crystals that reside in our pineal gland. And if you're having trouble feeling it, I want you to say more, more, stronger, please. Yes. And notice how it responds. Next, I want you to place all of your awareness in your right big toe. Imagine your awareness is something you can stuff into it, and just keep stuffing your awareness into your right big toe. Focus all your energy there, and remember, you can talk to it more, more. I want to feel more, bigger. There we go. Until you feel it start to buzz in response. Where your attention goes, energy will flow. You're exciting the cells just by thinking about it. Now move this awareness into your stomach. Say, hey stomach, here comes my awareness. Maybe it says something back, or maybe you're just visualizing. More, more. I want to feel more. I want to see more. Now I want you to see if you can swirl it and feel the movement. All you're doing is directing the plasma. Hey, plasma in my stomach, move in a circle. I want you to see if you can move it really fast. Say, go as fast as you can and see how that feels. For me, that's a little bit much, so I'm going to tell it to back off, and thank you very much. Now move all of your awareness and your attention into your left hand. What color do you see glowing in your left hand? Awesome. Now we're going to use our breath to breathe into our spine. Starting from our tailbone, we're going to breathe up, up, up into our skull and exhale down, down, down. You're going to do this 3 times following the piezoelectric glow of your breath up your spine. So up, down, up, more time. Up and down. Maybe you felt it, maybe you saw it. Now I want you to breathe into your heart as if your heart had a nose, the nostrils. I want you to say hello heart and get a hello back. Because remember, it's just plasma. You can talk to its own separate consciousness. Ask your heart to share a message about your divine design for you. Now I want you to hop in to your right knee and ask your right knee for a divine message about your protection. Okay, thank your knee for giving you that message. Notice how when you remain open and settled, the energy can move a lot easier. There's more space. There's more information that it's willing to share. When we get stressed out, we're living in our activated sympathetic nervous system, we physically and emotionally contract, which makes it harder for us to divine information, to play with the plasma. So well done. Now let's practice in the psychic space. Bring your awareness back up to your third eye in the center of your head. I want you to trust that the very first thing that comes up is what you're meant to read, what you're meant to see, feel, hear, and understand. This is easy for you. This is natural. So I want you to think about envy. Ask the plasma to show you in your psychic mind what color envy is. And ask for a metaphorical representation in your psychic space. Like, what would envy look like? A symbol. Ask to be shown a time where you experienced envy and watch it like a movie. Even if it's not a specific memory, the plasma will show you something. Okay, imagine taking your psychic hand and brushing all of that off your psychic screen and thank it. Now I want you to think about excitement. How does this vibration come through in your psychic space? Ask to be shown excitement. Are you feeling it in your body? Are you seeing an image play out? Keep asking the plasma to demonstrate excitement to you in your psychic space. Last, let's ask to experience divine alignment. And I want you to remain really curious about this one. What images come through when you ask the plasma to show you divine alignment for yourself? Are you seeing metaphors, or are you seeing things that you are manifesting? Or do you feel divine alignment in your body? I want you to allow Infinite Spirit to reach down and give you a healing. And I want you to hear it as a frequency. What does this sound of this spiritual healing sound like to you? Awesome. Wherever your attention goes, your energy will flow. So keep practicing these techniques. What am I feeling? What am I seeing? What am I hearing? Now I'm going to offer a little healing to you. So remain open and say in your heart whether you are or are not ready for this healing. I'm going to send in my healing master, and he's going to clear away any resistance you have to your divine alignment, whether that's this class or a new job or getting back in the dating scene or just learning to love your body again. We're just going to clear the way for your divine alignment. Okay, now we're going to wrap you in love and seal up every change and healing that you came across in this class, in this session. Okay, shake, rattle, and roll. Come on back. I'm going to stop the recording, and then if you'd like to stick around and introduce yourself, what you're hoping to get out of these classes, then I would love to do that. So let me pause this.